Alright ladies, it's Sunday, so doing a little work on the 350X. I had a couple of requests for some updates on the fork conversion that I'm doing. So again, if you're not familiar with this conversion, what I'm doing is I'm taking the conventional forks that are on the 350X and then putting inverted forks, KTM Dirt bike forks, onto the front triples. So that's kind of what this update's about. In the process of doing that, one of the things a couple of people have suggested, which is a good idea. Remember, the Honda is a 86, so it's about 27 years old. And back then, the latest and greatest thing out for the steering was the old school bearings and races and all that. So, I mean, basically you had the races that set inside the steering stem, lubed up the bearings, and that's what your lower would sit on. So what I did is I bought I believe All Balls sells this kit. It's a tapered bearing kit. There's the one that I had put on, or I actually put on the lower steering stem, lower triple tree right there. And here's the upper tapered bearing that sits right inside the steering tube like that. If you're gonna do this mod, really all the mod is designed to do is upgrade the bike from 20-year-old technology to current new technology that's a little bit better. The tapered bearings do operate a little bit better, a little bit more strength than the old school balls. But if we're gonna do the mod, you have to put this race in on the upper. There's also one that I put in on the lower, that race right there. And then here's the tapered bearing that I fit on the upper, just like that. So, oh, can you see it? So upgraded taper bearings on a steering tube on the 350X. So here's the triple trees all mounted up. Mounted up pretty good with the new tapered bearings installed. Swings pretty good. No play anywhere. Sealed up pretty tight. So not bad at all. I just have the nut kind of hand tightened. Kind of give you an idea of how much better these triple trees are than the OEM ones. Here's the stock OEM lower clamp. I mean, look at the difference. Look at the size I'm going to improve in my suspension right there. So I'm pretty excited. Here's the triple clamps that the KTM forks came with. And the only thing I had these for is just to give an idea. There's the tapered bearings right there on the new style dirt bikes and everything. I did a dry fit with the fork tubes. They were a little too tight to squeeze in here without really damaging my fork tubes. Scratching them up pretty bad. It barely would fit in the bottom one. So it's just about a couple of maybe thousandths off in far in size. So what I did is kind of took a Dremel, kind of cleaned it up a little bit, took a little, what I consider maybe a couple of thousandths off, and then took some sandpaper. I believe I used 300 grit sandpaper afterwards. It kind of cleaned them up. So I did another dry fit and they fit perfect. So if we're going to do this mod, hopefully yours will fit a little bit better, but it wasn't too bad. Just take a quick Dremel, knock a little bit off on the inside, a little bit of sandpaper, it should be good to go. These triples, and there's the hub adapter to fit your rotor, and then here's the axle that I needed to fit for the KTM Dirt bike suspension. Here's the KTM rotor that's going to go on my new KTM front brakes. So I'm pretty excited. I'll get this thing mounted up in the next couple of minutes. Here, the wheel, I just basically pressed in the bearing myself. I have a bearing driver here, so it's pretty easy. What I did is I froze my bearings for about 2 days, and I have a torch. I heated up the inside of the hub, and then heated up the inside of the hub, quickly threw my frozen bearings in there, jammed it in with this and my little adapter thing, and hit it with the mallet, and went in pretty easy. So freeze your bearing, heat up your hub, and you won't have to use like a press or nothing. It goes in pretty easy. And here's the dust seal that I just put in a couple minutes ago. So I'll get this mounted up. All right, there's the forks. Slid them up into the triple trees. It still was a little bit of work, but it wasn't too bad. Basically got them nice and flush now. What I did is I tilted the bike back, and then kind of drove the forks in from the bottom all the way up to the top. And a little bit of elbow grease, but not too bad at all. I knew I was going to scrape it up a little bit coming in, sliding in, but it's okay. You know, I'm not a big super fan on perfect bikes anyway, so I kind of scratched them up. They were or are anodized. It's not powder coated, these are anodized black. So a little bit of scuff marks on there, but no big deal. Still got some nice swing in the new race, or I'm sorry, tapered bearings that I have in there. And then when you buy this upgrade kit, I bought this kit on threewheelerworld.com. It is an expensive inverted fork kit, but they do sell them for the Honda 350X and the Honda 250R. 85, 86. So the way he does it, he has these two bolts, and they kind of act as your stops on either side. So these are the triple clamps you would get if you go to Three Wheeler World and you buy them. But again, what I decided to do, as opposed to going with the old school bearings, I went with tapered bearings. I figured I might as well upgrade it while I have them all apart. So came out pretty good. Next I'll put up the wheel, the axle on, and that good stuff. If you didn't see that other video, these aren't, oh, well, let me back up. These forks are 2006 KTM 85. All right, got the fork tubes all mounted up, wheel mounted up, hub, rotor, axle, the whole nine. So came out pretty good. That's what it's gonna look like. Make sure that's square in the front. Looks pretty good. So again, that's 2006 KTM 85 dirt bike forks mounted up onto a 1986 Honda 350X. Custom made triple trees, hard anodized black fork outers, adapter to mount the rotor, KTM rotor, axle going through no problem, new bearings, new dust seals. I gotta play around, I can't get this down, damn thing off, so I gotta play around with that. Everything's mounted up nice, put some air in them, heavy duty springs in there with the new tire. So there it is, gents. Looks pretty good. Pretty happy with it. Oh yeah, that's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome. Here's the KTM brakes that are gonna go on the 350X. Nice hydraulic brakes. So those are the KTM brakes. This is the extended braided brake line that's gonna go on my rear brake. Again, just in case you're not aware, I cut and extended the rear swing arm 4 inches. If you have a Honda 350X, right about here is where this carrier was before. So it's extended about that much. I think I measured out about 4.5 inches. New rear carrier in the back. Axles all mounted up. These aren't the wheels and tires that are going to go on there. They're just on there temporary till I got the wheels and tires still in the box, I think. So, kind of give you an idea of the wheelbase. There it is. Nice looking wheelbase. Cut and extended swing arm 4 inches. I'm just kind of dry fitting everything now. So really excited about these forks and the way they came out. Came out pretty darn good. Tire I went with is a 6-ply. Pretty heavy duty tire. Yeah, 6-ply. Kind of because of the way that you ride the 3-wheeler, you kind of put your front tire in ruts and nasty stuff all the time to control your ascent or your descent. So I'll never have to worry about a flat tire with a 6-ply tire. Pretty good. But again, these back ones, these are turf tamer tires. Not enough grip for this type of stuff that I do, so those are just extras that I had laying around, temporary. So, but real excited about these forks. Came out good. So next, put the motor in, mount everything up, brakes, steering, handlebars, I mean. Should be good to go. So again, they do sell these on threewheelerworld.com. That's where I bought mine from. These triples. And the forks I bought on eBay. I think I paid 200 and something bucks for the forks. And the forks, I got the forks, brakes came with it, handlebars, and I bought the rotor separate because the rotor that came with it was pretty old and worn. So I bought this on eBay too. So get these brakes mounted up pretty soon. This is already bent. This is my old collar, but that was already bent. So I'm pretty excited. Hopefully it won't take me too long to get everything else done.